Hello and welcome. We'll be talking to Landon, who operates the Arkansas eTraveler YouTube site, concerning significant milestones that have been occurring in the Walmart native EV charging project. Let's get into it. So I'm here with Landon, the proprietor of the Arkansas eTraveler YouTube channel. Landon, how are you doing this evening?
Doing pretty good. It got very blustery and very cold today, so we had to bundle up again in mid-March, but can't complain too much beyond the weather right now.
Yeah, tons of things going on, and just so everyone knows, Landon is here because his one of his areas of expertise, among other things, is focus on Walmart. One of the reasons being is that he's relatively close to the headquarters. Is that not the case?
Yes, Bentonville, Arkansas. That is their home office and my residence as well.
And a lot of people are probably thinking Walmart EV charging has to do with the Electrify America build from days of yore. And just to perforate that and put the topic on subject, what exactly is going on here with the Walmart EV charging project? Can you give us a little 1,000 mile overview of what we're actually talking about here?
Sure. Walmart Corporation has created a subdivision within its ranks called Walmart Energy, and their job is to create a model for sustainability for the retailer by 2040. And a part of that is EV charging amongst offsite renewable energy and efficient facilities and some other goals that they have. So what Walmart has done is they have put their hat in the ring on DC fast charging. And like you mentioned, a lot of people, and I still see it online, have thought, well, my Walmart has had a DC fast charger for years. Like, why is this new? Uh, well, the simple answer is that's not Walmart. That's almost like a subcontractor, if you will, called Electrify America that I know everybody knows about. But they are, in fact, separate entities. Walmart basically has an arrangement with them at these locations where you see them to allow them to operate on their premises. And so the difference here is what Walmart has done is said, we're going to do this in house. We're going to do this the Walmart way. I think that they're going to continue to use Electrify America in their goals towards 2040. But it's very, very clear, very, very evident, and has been for a little while now that this is something they're going to tackle on their own. And personally, I'm very, very excited about the prospects of that. And I know EV drivers all across the country will be as well.
Yeah, one of the tipping points that I've always been looking for is retailers going on their own and seeing the value in and of itself for putting charging on their property. And this was one of the indications that I saw for that. And as I recall, there was a press release either 2023 or 2024 where they were indicating that they're going to be putting it in thousands of stores. Is that accurate?
Yes, we're talking thousands here. The number that they threw out that a lot of people have really kind of honed in on is in that press release they mentioned that 90% of the population in the United States is within 10 miles of either a Walmart supercenter, a Walmart neighborhood market, or a Sam's Club. So Walmart, through this project that they have with Walmart Energy, their goal, it would seem, is to use thousands of locations to ensure that everybody within, or at least 90% of people within 10 miles, these people have the opportunity to charge at a Walmart.
Yeah, and when I saw that, it sounded too good to be true. I mean, if they actually went through with what we're describing, it would basically single handedly solve the EV charging problem in the United States and possibly Canada as well. And so I approached it with a good deal of skepticism and kind of kept my ears to the wire to see if there was any indication. And I got a little too busy, so you were kind enough to keep an eye on it. So what started to happen like last year when things actually started to gain momentum? I know we had a couple of beta sites out there and then additional things started going on.
Sure, yes. This started many years ago, I believe in 2022, at the Alpha testing location in Bentonville. It was only available to associates. It still remains that way. You have to use Walmart's enterprise app to gain access, fill out paperwork saying that, I have an EV, want to use the charger. And so that location's very, very isolated, but they added two beta locations, one in Springdale, Arkansas, which is where I work, and I frequent it today. In fact, I got a charge today there, and they put in a beta charger location at Crossroads, Texas, and their super center there. These two beta locations have been going since late of 2023. They use the ChargePoint Express Plus units. You have each charger has one CCS, one CHAdeMO right now, and in Springdale you can charge for free still. Up to 200 kilowatts. Being on a Chevy Blazer EV, I max out around 110. Same thing in Crossroads, except as of last October, they are charging 35 cents per kilowatt hour dispensed, which is still a great price, but it's not free 99. So it's a little different there. That's a method they've been using to test payment method, credit card holds, the whole 9 yards on what it takes to do things payment side. They chose to do the Crossroads location for that. So there is a few small differences between the locations, but from a wide angle, you wouldn't really notice them.
Yeah, and as a major retailer, they definitely have the ability to execute. They've proven that time and time again. And so I was basically waiting to see once the big push would begin. And we seem to get indications that was getting ready to happen. Can you recount for people who are watching what happened once that started to occur?
Sure. Late last summer, in the summer of 2024, we found an article that was written in the Fort Worth Star Telegram announcing basically that 15 Walmart supercenters within the DFW Metroplex had been selected for the first out of beta locations for Walmart EV charging. So they announced them and said in the article that they expected construction to begin in October. October came and went, November came and went, December came and went, and we could not really find anything on these locations. I checked PlugShare religiously, still do. But once we flipped the calendar to 2025, all of a sudden things started to light up. And so, as of right now, I can account for 8 of those 15 locations being under construction.
More
I
than
have it on
half.
good authority. Yeah, and we're talking, March. So it's very, very fast. I have it on good authority that it is somewhere closer to 10. And so some of my partners in crime, I suppose, are going to go take a little bit of a venture here soon to see if we can find those, at least the other two. But we know that number and to be true for construction right now. And now we're to the point where just this past week we had the first location in McKinney, Texas, come online, now fully operational, and Walmart Energy EV charging has commenced out of beta.
Open. Holy smokes. So, yeah, I was kind of like you, where I was thinking, well, maybe they kind of pulled the plug on this because of the either presidential election or change in demand or something. And then all of a sudden, here we are in March, and we actually have a living, breathing, open station. And there was another pivot as the events unfolded concerning what hardware they were using. And that was kind of like a shot out of the dark. I wasn't expecting anything like that, and probably accounted for the delay. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. So yeah, the delay. Certainly, I think that the vendor swap that you're referencing played a big role in that. I think data analysis from the beta testing locations played a role in it. But to your point, yes, ChargePoint is not being used right now in Dallas Fort Worth. That market, it would seem, is going to be using Alpitronic hyperchargers. We have seen at at least three of the locations uh, where the chargers are on site uh, during the construction phase that they are all Alpitronic hyperchargers. And so I was personally overjoyed to see that. And I'm a big fan. I've used them up here on my own channel at the Mercedes-Benz High Power Charging Network at a Buc-ee's in Springfield. We've seen some other locations, BB Pulse. I know that you visited them in Jacksonville to use their hyperchargers.
Yeah, I love
It's
their
just
cable
a
management and the nice long cables.
yeah, it's a workhorse, and of course from its stomping grounds in Europe, we know that their reliability is second to none. We know the silicon carbide rectifiers are very good for these retailers who are trying to minimize their loss. Maintenance is great. And of course, the reticulating arm, everybody's really infatuated with for cable management. So it's just a unique piece of hardware coming from Europe over to the United States, and so it's been very, very good to see. They're beautiful units in McKinney. They're Walmart powdered blue in a way, and the firmware has been kind of revamped to reflect Walmart as well. So it's Alpitronic hyperchargers, but it's an all Walmart experience from the moment you pull up.
And you mentioned 10 under construction in DFW with a total, did you say, of 15 initially indicated? And
Yes.
is there any announcements for where they're going after DFW?
Yeah, so last fall, there was an article released in the Northwest Arkansas Democrat Gazette covering Walmart's sustainability goals. And in that article, it mentioned that 15 locations were going into the Metroplex, which we knew, but then I don't know if they let the cat out of the bag or what, but they mentioned that 10 were going to Phoenix. So the Phoenix, Arizona market, you know, Tempe, Avondale, Glendale, Scottsdale, all the Dales. It seems that that market near Maricopa County is where Walmart is taking target of next for Walmart Energy EV charging. Which and there's another piece to this that's also very exciting in that we basically have three markets: Northwest Arkansas, DFW, and Phoenix. And last week we had a third vendor revealed at their year-beginning meetings in Orlando, in that ABB will be joining the ranks of Walmart Energy as well. Now, if you're like me, sometimes when you think of ABB in a Walmart parking lot, you get a little nervous because of your Electrify America experience. But this is very, very different. This is their brand new, just barely a year old, if a year old, A400 units. They're gorgeous, giant 32-inch screens. They use a two-phase cooling handle that works much like a refrigerator or a heat pump. Just silicon carbide rectifiers, just a modern marvel for engineering in the EV world. I don't know if that's what's going to be in the Phoenix market, but I think it's very interesting that we have three markets and three vendors. On Walmart's end, I have no doubt that that will be of very little consequence to the end user, that their experience in the Walmart app to begin their charging session and to monitor it and such, it will be completely separate from whatever vendor you happen to be at for a charging station in their network. So it's going to be a very seamless experience for end users, despite some back end differences that they may see at the local charging station at their Walmart.
Yeah, so if I piece this together right, what we had was a pretty standard project management approach where we had an alpha site, we had a couple of beta sites, we now have phased rollout occurring in DFW, potentially Phoenix as well, and pivoting and evaluating new vendor hardware as the project continues, which is pretty common in a agile approach. Would you, just in your personal opinion, consider the initial press releases to be a valid representation of where Walmart's going with this rollout, where they're intending to put in thousands of electric vehicle charging stations between now and I believe it was 2030, or do you? Is it too early to tell? It's basically my question. And you're closer to this than I think anyone else, so I think
Mhm.
your opinion matters most here.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have no reason to suspect that Walmart can't do whatever they say they will do. The only reason is if they feel like there's a change in market climate or anything like that. Living in Northwest Arkansas in what's basically kind of Walmart's playground, where we get the benefit of trying the new things first, such as the beta location. We kind of get to see these things before everybody else, and everything that I've observed from rebranding to store remodeling, um, and a few other things, such as scan and go at Sam's Club. Those things are all ubiquitous now and an essential part of the Walmart retail experience. So, based on what everything that I've seen Walmart do, um, whatever happens here, if the market says we're good to go, it will go to market. Now there are cases where sometimes they try something here and it doesn't go to market because something changed, such as the Walmart health centers that were here. I think there was one in Chicago as well and some other places. But all of a sudden they ran their numbers again. The market had changed in recent years their for the healthcare industry, and they no longer saw a viable, profitable path to maintain it. So they pulled it overnight, and now they rent out those spaces in these WalMarts to a local health system who's more versed in it. So there's no reason for me to suspect that Walmart won't do what Walmart says they will do. And personally, I take that as a great assurance because um, given the numbers that they floated around, it's going to kind of be the mark, for EV charging. It could be before Walmart and after Walmart uh, enters the fray. So it's going to be a momentous milestone for the entire EV landscape and community.
Yeah, I agree. They're very responsive to market forces, and I think that's one of the most encouraging things of what we're witnessing is that a major retailer is actually seeing the intrinsic benefit to electric vehicle charging on their property, and they're proceeding with the implementation plan. This is real world. This is really happening, and the EV revolution is here, is what it seems. But anyway, thank you, Landon, very much for coming. Landon, the Arkansas e-traveler, please everyone go to his channel and subscribe for updates on both the Walmart EV charging project and other things going on in Arkansas that he keeps a very good tab on. Landon, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Happy trails to everyone.
Take care.